Oh,
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dead Funny Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Today is my co-host, JoJo, and Kelsey.
Hey!
It's here. She dropped by for all you people who thought that she was gone. She's not gone.
No,
that
I'm
was
not.
the first,
She's here.
What was
that
that?
was the first time I was billed above Kelsey when
I know.
she was here, and I was here.
I did notice that. I was actually... Chris and I are talking about it later.
There you go. There you go. Oh, shit. So
I have been gone. I have been gone for weeks. So, over or under, do you think I have fungus news?
fucking over, for sure.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
I do not, guys.
What?
I do not have any fungus news whatsoever.
Maybe early 2000s.
New Lara Croft movie. Yeah, I just watched them. Cast. Who is the new Lara Croft? Haley Atwell. Nope, that's who you were just talking about. Alicia Vikander?
That's the thing I said
Is that
out
who
loud.
you're talking about? Yeah, no, I heard you say something. I didn't totally listen. Can you tell?
For sure
a
about it,
whole
to be fair.
fucking series that I just completely did not see.
They were...
Terrible?
I don't want to say shot-for-shot remakes of the game, but there were definitely moments where I'm like, I've played this.
Yeah, I mean, they're very based on the new ones instead of the old, the Wii ones.
I think that this new series is also going to be based off those games as well. I don't know if that means it's going to be shot for shot, but the picture of Lara Croft they used was definitely the new... Lara Croft has went through some transformations, for sure. She definitely looks completely different compared to what she used to.
They're not making Haley Atwell be, like, triangle boobs.
Wow, yeah, exactly.
I think it's a cartoon, right? It's not a... Haley Atwell's not doing...
I didn't
Yeah, she's the voice of Lara Croft in
she
that
is the voice of
Tomb Raider anime.
Oh, the post that I read was talking about a live-action show. It's an anime. I mean, I'm fine with either one, honestly. I love Lara Croft. Like, Tomb Raider was the first, like, actual, like, diving treasure game that I ever fucking... Like, I picked up Uncharted, and I think I played the first one. I was like, I would rather play a Tomb Raider game than fucking just play this fucking knockoff piece of shit of Tomb Raider. And I never touched Uncharted again, so...
Oh, man. Uncharted... after the first game, those games become incredible. Yeah, the first one's, like, fine, but, like...
I've never played them. Scott has all of them, and I know I will play them eventually when I get bored, but I haven't gotten bored enough to pick it up.
If you like Tomb Raider, you'll like Uncharted. It's the same thing, except a different,
similar, but like
different
way
character.
better, like cinematic production on it. You know, it's
on the like some of the new ones are pretty nice.
So it's a weird. It's the snake eating its own tail, right? It's Uncharted was kind of doing the old Tomb Raider thing, and then the new Tomb Raider games are kind of just trying to be Uncharted. And it goes in a loop forever, right?
How do you say that word? Is it Ouroboros or Ouroboros or
Ouroboros? I think.
What?
Because it's
Ouroboros, yeah, I believe.
Ouroboros.
Ouroboros.
I think because it's the name of the virus in Resident Evil 5.
Yeah!
He says it a bunch.
That is right. They did say that. Yes.
Ouroboros. Total. What's the global desaturation? That's what he says. He's gonna just rain it down on everyone.
Is it Benicula? Is it sucking the color out of people?
Maybe saturation. Maybe it's total global saturation. Not desaturation. That would make more sense.
I do like the idea, though, that this is just viral Benicula, and it's just making everything not white, like very white.
Yeah.
Oh,
I realized how that was going to sound coming out of my mouth. I'm like, not a white supremacist. Don't agree with that.
That would be the worst Resident Evil game to be about making everything white.
Yes.
Oh, man. I you know what? I could see... Man, that would be such a touchy subject for them to do. But I don't know. I think that I could see Far Cry pulling that off. Like having like an actual white supremacist bad guy game. Like, have you guys ever played Far Cry? Any of you two?
Yeah. I don't think they could go for it, man. Like that should have been Far Cry 5, kind of. Like
I think they could do it, man.
The premise there, but they didn't make the guy actually white supremacist. You know?
Now that's the one that they did where they referenced Montana and all that jazz,
yes.
right?
Yeah, it's like a cult has taken over Montana, essentially.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have that vibe. I think they could do it, dude.
Yeah, but
they could do it. But see, that's the thing, though. All the racist guys are gonna die. Like, that's the saving grace. Like, let's kill the assholes. Like, yes.
Well, problem is a lot of the people that will like that game are the people that would be offended by a white supremacist villain.
A lot of people.
I mean, it's all right for the villain, I think. I mean, got games where they make the Wolfenstein games where I've killed Hitler. You know, like that's all right.
Yeah, but did you kill a neo-Nazi or did you kill the original Nazis? Because apparently people are fine with killing the original Nazis, but it's the neo-Nazis that they want to keep safe.
That was an alternate timeline, so they were kind of the original Nazis, but later in time than they should have been. I don't know.
Neat.
It's good. They're good.
I'm just saying. Yeah. I think that they could get away with it. I think they could, as long as.
I just don't.
Now,
I don't think they have the courage to do it.
Oh, probably not.
Kind of.
Probably not. But I just think that would be a great way to tell a terrible story of how America was basically built, and we get to kill racist pieces of shit in the end of it. Yeah. That's a win, dude. That's a win for America. That's a fucking W. You're welcome, America. You're fucking welcome. Damn. All right, that's a fucking W right there. Take it all day. All day. Anyways, the reason why I was talking about Lara Croft has nothing to do with video games whatsoever. Did you guys hear about the Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt shit that's going on?
Not the recent version, I don't think. The information I have is months old at this point because I don't generally care about celebrity drama. Fill me in.
Well, that's the thing. She has no claims whatsoever. She basically just called up courts and was like, "I fear for my children's safety." And that's it. She hasn't gave a specific claim about anything, and there's a lot of people who are really worried this is going to turn into another one of those Johnny Depp situations. Where everybody automatically shits on the guy, and then it turns out because a lot of people are already starting to do the hero shit with Brad Pitt, which to be fair, he has been that guy that's been in corner. Did you ever hear about the fucking Gwyneth Paltrow and Weinstein shit?
No.
Where Gwyneth Paltrow was getting very close to being messed with by Weinstein, and Brad Pitt showed up to the house party and actually grabbed him by the neck and put his ass into a wall. I was like, don't fucking touch her. Holy shit. Yeah, so everybody's like, dude, he's always kind of been in the corner of being that good guy. And it's just man, dude, it's just I would feel better if she, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I would not feel better if she actually had any kind of solid evidence, because that's the thing that sucks about these. That's the things that sucks about these is you want them to be lying because you don't want something that terrible to happen, you really, but at the same time, it's you don't want them to be lying if it is true and it is their story, you want them to be able to tell it and not be seen. It fucking A, dude. All right, anyways, I hate today. Anyways, so, but yeah, she just has no claims or anything, and it's just man, it's I don't know. There's just, it's blowing up all over the place right now, and it caught my attention the other day, and I was reading a lot of different shit, and it's it's been a while, and that's all she said. And it's if she has no actual claims, she just said that to say that, it's kind of a fucked up thing to do, a real fucked up thing to do, because you're messing with someone's actual, I know they're not biologically his, but they're still his kids, He
does they do have a couple of kids together.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah, they do have a couple of that are biologically theirs, and then there are others that they adopted. I know months ago there was a case in court where she accused him of sexually assaulting one of their kids, so he lost custody of the kids.
Come out. Okay.
And then one of their oldest child, who won't speak to Brad Pitt anymore, there's no connection between the two of them at all, came in and testified against him in court and then left without seeing his dad, and that turned up with no convictions or anything against Brad Pitt. So it was. Yeah, whatever. Obviously, I'm not in the courtroom. I have no idea what all of that means, other than, of course, he was found innocent of the charges that were laid against him. That's what I know.
And it looks like she can't be explicit about anything right now because she's in an active legal situation.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like they're having a custody case, and so
they are having a custody battle over kids. Yeah.
Make specific public declarations about these sort of things, or like it's inadvisable at least.
I like Brad Pitt a lot. If it turns out that he's like a fucking kid diddler, that's gonna ruin a lot of fucking movies.
To be fair, I mean, it doesn't sound like the thing they're suggesting is necessarily diddle related so much as this isn't good either, but like
I love it. Yes, JoJo, we wild over here. Let's go.
Domestic abuse, like
yeah,
more like just non-sexual violence, which is still not cool.
No,
which
violence is
cool.
violence.
Let me go on the record.
Violence is violence, folks.
Don't abuse your kids in any way, shape, or form.
No, don't do that.
I can put the dead funny stamp on that. I don't even need to check with Chris. Do not abuse your kids in any way, shape, or form. Or your spouses. Or your roommates. Don't abuse people. Dead
Don't
funny
hit
stamp.
People. Self-defense is the only reason you got. Other than that, just don't hit people. Like, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, that's nuts, dude. That's nuts. Because I was just watching. I know Joe Rogan's got a podcast coming out with Quentin Tarantino where they're talking about how that's gonna be his last film. I actually like what Quentin Tarantino said to that. Like, I watched the clip because I don't think the podcast's actually out yet, but I watched the clip and he's like, as a fan, like, that sucks to hear that, like, I don't want this to be your last movie. And he's all like, why is it your last movie? And he's like, because I'm a great film director. In order to get here, I had to do actual studying of the history of film, and nothing has been more obvious that directors get shittier the older they get. So I was like, I mean, fuck, solid point. Solid point. Fuck it. All right.
There's debatably exceptions to that, I think, but like, yeah, I think Clint Eastwood didn't get directing until he was like old as hell and has done stuff people like. I don't know, but yeah, I think he said really early on, like Quentin Tarantino was like, I'm gonna make 12 movies and then stop, or however many it was. Like, he declared that a long time ago. And now he needs to stick to it. Even if he wants to keep making movies, he made a statement. Now he has to do it.
He made a promise to the people.
Oh,
He's going to hold him to it.
He can start working on mini-series for Amazon Prime or something,
Maybe he can toss himself into voice
like
acting.
Woody Allen does.
That would be the worst situation. That to me would be like rock bottom. You go from like one of the top Hollywood fucking directors, and then like you see fucking Quentin Tarantino's IMDb page. It's like also voice acted in like My Little Ponies, this Sparkle Darkle or some shit like that. Done, dude. Like, fucking, I'd be trying to report that shit and be like, look, somebody fucking hacked IMDb and put this weird shit on my fucking page. Get that out of here.
He puts himself in all of his own movies. He just wants to be an actor, so he can just focus on that now. That's great.
True. That's true. Because I was actually just watching the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think. That's the one about the Sharon Tate.
The one that has Brad Pitt in it?
Yeah, that's the one that has Sharon Tate murders.
Yes. That is not related to history in any way, shape, or form. So Kelsey, who knows the history, was
I do too.
The whole time, like, oh fuck, and then and credits rolled, and I'm like, none of this was real. None of this was real. None of this was real. What the fuck?
I got set up the same way. So I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I watch like anything that fucking dude is in, and that's why I saw that. I was like, oh, it's a Quentin Tarantino film I haven't seen yet. Fuck it, I'm gonna buy it and watch it. And I was telling my girlfriend about it. She's like, oh, well, I know you like a lot of like the horror shit and the murder shit and stuff like that. Well, that has to do with like the Sharon Tate murders. And I was like, oh, sweet. Let's go. Like, I'm fucking down. And I was the same way. Like, once all the cool shit, like the Tarantino shit starts happening, I was like, this is amazing and extremely inaccurate. Like, I was like, holy fuck. I was like, she didn't even die in the movie. I was like, this has nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it whatsoever. It was like Quintina's like, this is the story, and then this is what I feel should have happened. It's just like, I agree.
Who's never seen a Tarantino movie before? It was an education.
Oh, that was the one? That was your first one? Oh, man.
Yep. Scott laughed at me when I was like, that was a lot.
Oh, man. Brad Pitt balled out in that movie. Oh, man. The beer can or the dog can food against the nose when it broke and shit. I was like, ah! I was like, yeah. Or like whenever he looked at the dog, he's like, and then just, oh, my God, that movie was good. I was like, let's go.
It was a lot.
Good old Leo pulling out the fucking flamethrower. That was fucking great.
I could have been watching a documentary on fungus.
You could have been, but that movie was a legend.
I have never disappointed JoJo more than
you could have been watching Fungus. It's true.
Oh man, that's fucking
That's the look
hilarious.
on your face.
You're not wrong. It's an option.
So I've always had this thing about me where, like, if I watch something or I get into a show or something like that, like, sooner or later I'll start to hear facts about it or, know things about it. I'm like, oh, that's a cool little factoid. I'll store that away for useless information that no one fucking cares about. So I do that from time to time. The person that I'm with does that for fun. So as we're watching it, like, if we're watching a movie, she pulls up the wiki and starts looking at, like, the fucking trivia and all that other shit.
Uh-huh.
And it cracks me up because it's got to the point where I've started doing that now with like shows I have and stuff like that. So Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I actually found something out today that I didn't know, and it cracks me up. So there's this episode. So the main character, who I feel is the main character of the show, Dennis, which Kelsey you would fucking hate, is definitely one of those like playboy type guys, real fucking misogynistic. Like that's his character, right? Dude that actually plays him is fucking amazing. He's a super fucking cool guy, super awesome guy. But anyways, his character is an asshole, and it's fucking hilarious the way that they do it, though, in the show. So he has this episode where he's breaking down how he's able to not only date women, but get them to sleep with him relatively quickly and then leave. But the way that he does his system, there's always a chance for him to be able to come back. And he calls it the Dennis system. And he spells out his name, and each one, like D is like demonstrate your value. And it's like some chick working at the pharmacy or something like that. And he's like, oh, my grandmother, I take care of her. I'm here to pick up her medicine. It's like you're demonstrating your value. You're a thoughtful guy. Shit like that, right? So he's doing this whole thing. And I didn't know until today the chick that he Dennis's in that show is his now wife. I was like, it works! The Dennis system went out. But I literally said that.
They was married to each other. It's a whole thing.
But I did that just to see what Megan's reaction would be. I was like, oh, so the Dennis system works! And she goes, you already have me? You don't need to Dennis system me. Because, like, it gets to this point where, like, he's all like, you want to do stuff to, like, freak her out and make her depend on you. So, like, call her up and act like you're, like, her crazy neighbor that wants to break in and kill her or something like that. So he's, like, calling from a payphone and doing his maniacal laughing. Like, it's outrageously outlandish shit, right? And no, don't do this and stuff like that. But it was so fucking funny. I couldn't believe it. I was like, no fucking way. But I was doing, like, a lot more research after that, and it's like, I already knew that two of the main people, Mac and D, that they were married, and they actually met on the show. And I think it was like season 2 they started dating, season 4 they got married, and like halfway through season 4 they had a kid, which was funny because she's pregnant in the show, obviously, because she really can't have that. And so they do this whole joke where, as I've said before, I think on this podcast, where like I went back and watched like her audition tapes, and like Dee's character was supposed to be kind of like the sister of the main guy, Dennis, and she's just there to be the female. And she was all like, I'm a comedian. Like, I'm going to bring something to this. And like watching her audition tape, the people who are auditioning her are just dying laughing the entire time. So like she's like right there with the guys. She's in all the hijinks. She's in all the bullshit. She's talking shit just like they're talking shit. It's hilarious. And so she's able to go back and forth. Like one of my favorite situations, like he's talking, Mac, her husband, is talking shit about her, and he's all like, God, you look like a whore. And she's all like, oh, I'm sorry. And she's all like, I'm sorry, I can't look better for you. Because they're like trying to do like a whole will they, won't they thing to bring more people in the bar. And then it's like, this isn't will they, won't they? This is like, I hope to God they don't. Like, Jesus Christ. And so she's all like, I'm sorry I don't look good for you. Maybe I should try to look more like a cigarette like your fucking mom. And he's like, don't you talk shit about my mom. And they're just like fucking going at it. It's so good. So good tit for tat. But when she got pregnant, in the show, she's sitting there, like, sitting on the counter. She's, like, eating a sandwich, and all the guys are like, oh, we're going to go stay in the museum and hope that it's going to be, like, a night at the museum type deal, da-da-da-da-da. And they're all, like, they're saying something, and, like, Dee makes some joke, and I can't remember what it was, but basically calling them, like, losers or something like that. And they're like, well, it's better than sitting around and watching you get fat all day. What is that, like, your 8th sandwich? She goes, I'm not fat, I'm pregnant, you dick. And they're all like, I feel like you've said this before multiple times. She's all like, well, you guys can be dicks all you want to. Go have fun spending the night in the museum. But it was one of you assholes who knocked me up in the first place and then walks out the door. So now they're all freaking out about this Halloween party where they all got drunk. No one can remember it. Everybody's got bits and pieces. And for half the show, they lead you to believe that Dennis actually had sex with Dee, which their sister and brother. And so, like, it is fucking insane. But the best part is like, the very beginning of the show, there's such a strong case against Mac being the dad. And him just going completely like, I'm not the fucking dad. Fuck it. But in reality, he actually is the dad because that's his actual kid. It was so fucking funny. So, but yeah, no, it's great. They got like a lot of little Easter eggs. I couldn't believe like how many of their significant others have actually been in the show. And it's been everybody but Danny DeVito. He's the only person who hasn't had like somebody.
Rhea Perlman on the show for some reason.
Yeah, never happened. Not
once.
Divorced. I didn't know he had a daughter. She has a lot of his facial features. And I'm not sure that's a good thing.
Oh, no.
That at her every day, apparently, and she's very sick of it.
I would never say it to her. That's just a dick move to say it, but I'm just saying. Like, she's got a lot of his facial features for sure. I love Danny DeVito, don't get me wrong. He's fucking amazing in that show. He cracks me up.
Yeah, but he would not make a good woman. That's not, like, a visually appealing idea of a woman with Danny DeVito's face.
That's
like,
fair. That is completely fair. 100%.
He's perfect as the thing that he is.
How many male actors, and specifically, no offense to Danny DeVito, but he was born in 1944. So how many older male actors are you thinking of where you're like, yeah, that face on a woman would be like...
Hey, I mean...
That's a good question, because I'm not thinking about older.
Young Danny DeVito was necessarily
knocking it out of the park.
Lady either. And he just always kind of looked like a...
But I see where you're coming from. Like, if you look at, like, actors then versus actors now, it's like, no matter who Ryan Reynolds get with, you know their kids are going to look gorgeous. No matter who Ryan Gosling gets with, you know their kids are going to fucking look gorgeous. Like, those type of fucking actors and actresses, like, they're going to have some gorgeous-ass kids regardless. And if they are lucky enough to get those features, like... I mean, let's go.
That's why I'm saying go for older actors here. And when you're thinking about this, because we can all think of like, oh yeah, that face on like, okay, there's only one actor coming to my head. It's not actually somebody I find like ridiculously attractive. So I'm not saying it.
Damn it! Damn it!
I
was gonna get
if you
clipped.
think of younger actors, you're gonna end up with a lot more success than if you think of like much older actors.
Well, no, but I'm saying I've seen a younger Danny DeVito, and it wouldn't. Have been
and
good.
It wouldn't have done it then either.
No,
yeah,
I've seen Taxi.
I've seen Taxi.
Yes, Rhea Perlman.
Was that the movie where he was
DeVito.
just walking around chugging fucking Pepto-Bismol the entire time? That's the first time I'd ever seen him. Like, the first time I ever seen him in a movie, he's, like, playing, like, a lawyer or something like that. And he's just fucking chugging Pepto-Bismol, like, all day long. Like, all day.
Or something. He's in that.
Yeah, I don't know. When he first came to the show, I was like, oh, wow, this is kind of cool. You could see their dad, da-da-da-da-da. And then it was, like, the whole thing where he's like, I hate being rich and famous. I would rather just live life in squalor, so I'm going to be part of the gang. And I was like, oh, well, this is going to be stupid. And it actually almost made me turn off Always Sunny. I almost stopped watching the show because I was like, the dad's going to stick around with the kids. That kind of seems fucking lame. And I was like, And then it turns out that, like, he's not actually their biological father. That is probably one of the best episodes that fucking exists when they find out about that because they invite him out to, like, a nice restaurant. It's like a high-end Italian place. So he's sitting there, and like they're sitting there as a family, and the mom's there and everything. She's all like, well, what did you expect? Was I going to go ahead and let the actual dad that gave birth, or that gave me the twins take care of his kids whenever he was poor and doing Peace Corps stuff, or hook up with the first rich guy I could find and make sure these kids had a good life? And Danny DeVito's just like in shock. And he's like, so you're telling me I've bastard these kids for fucking 18 years. I've paid for all their shit. And then she's like, oh, Frank, don't make a scene. He's like, don't make a scene, Frank! And he gets up and he's just yelling. He's all like, don't make it. I got told I can't have a scene. He's like, I'm sorry. And he starts walking to each table. He's like, I'm sorry, sir. Have you slept with my whore wife? Have you slept with my whore wife? And he's going, don't make a scene. And then he like has a heart attack in the middle of the restaurant. It's like, no fucking way. Oh, I just love it. He did good. So then after that, I was like, all right, cool. Frank can fit right in. That's great. Part of the gang. Let's go.
I'm also looking up the DeVito kids, and they look fine.
No, they do look fine. But if you look like
what's your problem?
The cheekbones and the nose, that's all Danny. That's all Danny. This all right here is Danny. 100% Danny. which is fine. I never said she wasn't attractive. I just said she's got a lot of Danny DeVito. When she gets older, that might be a problem. I don't fucking know. I can't fucking see into the future. I'm just saying right now. She's like in her 20s, isn't she? 20s, 30s?
He has two daughters. Both are in their 30s, or their late 30s. And he has a son who was born in 87, so late 30s.
Yeah.
Mid to late 30s.
Mid-30s.
Mid-30s.
Like
3 years older than we are.
Shh. Nobody needs to know.
Yep. I hate thinking that I'm old, dude.
We're not old.
I'm
Come
old.
on.
Old and
We're
dying.
not young.
Old and decrepit.
I'm still trying to be young over here. What the hell?
I feel like sometimes I'm listening to something and I'm like, oh wait, this is 16 years old now. This was a thing from when I was 14. Like, oh no.
I went on vacation with a couple of my friends. And the song 1985, like, you guys know which one I'm talking about? Yeah. Somebody rewrote it. And they rewrote it for 2005 because 2005 is as far away from when that song was put out as 1985 was from when that song was put out. And they rewrote it for 2005 and I'm like, fuck all of this. This is terrible. This is personal. I feel personally attacked and this can fuck off. I was in high school in 2005. So thank God the song's not totally about me, but it references us way too heavily and I'm not grateful.
Right, and it's like, you know, the Strokes to a kid now is like what Van Halen was to me or something, like in terms of age, like time difference. Like, no, that was a thing. I mean, not that was so long ago, but like, it's messed up, man. Stuff should stop being made and happening. Culture should cease because I don't know anything anymore.
I don't know, man. That's all we're fucking seeing. Like, I felt like ever since we've gotten closer to 30, I'd say about by the time we were hitting that 28 range, moving into 30, that's all we see now is like, remake this, remaster that, remake this. It's like fucking everything today just seems like a fucking Ready Player One, perfect example. Let's see how much 1990s shit we can cram in here. So all the fucking 30-year-olds are sitting in the fucking audience going, I know the Iron Giant! Oh my god!
It is weird, like, in a way that's never been able to be a thing before, how much culture that's, like, outdated is just being propagated forever. So, like, kids shouldn't... They're making that Nickelodeon-based Super Smash Brothers game, essentially, both Nickelodeon characters. Not officially Super Smash Brothers, but it's the same fighting style, right? Yeah. It's like that. And it's got, like, some shit... Like, it's got SpongeBob, who's a current character, and some shit I don't recognize, but also has Ren and Stimpy.
Oh! Ren and Stimpy, let's go.
And so, like, a child shouldn't have to know what Ren and Stimpy is.
Nope.
But some kids will now know that. They shouldn't...
It's crazy, man.
I am against this. I am wholly against this.
Cat Dog and
Cat Dog too. Oh.
Again, I think they haven't aired that on TV in like 20 years.
God, what was the show with the cow?
Cow and Chicken?
Cow and Chicken.
Cow and Chicken.
That's a Cartoon Network joint, I think. But...
So, remember, I was only allowed to watch Discovery Channel, History Channel, Nature Channel, and
apparently Cow and Chicken.
History Channel. There we go. That's all I was allowed to watch.
I think you said History Channel already.
Probably. My memory's not brilliant, everyone.
The channels you weren't watching as a kid, that's all Kelsey was allowed to watch. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, the ones you weren't watching. So when culture references come up, they go right over my head. And my mom was like, all right, we're going to try to give you a chance to watch something that isn't that. Let's see what's available. And I turned on Cow and Chicken, and I was watching it for like 2 hours by myself. I was having a great time, like Cow and Chicken. God. I was having a great time. My mom came downstairs. My mom watched 30 seconds of it and was like, do you know why the cow's ass is red or pink or whatever? And I was like, because it's a cow? And she's like, no, it's because it doesn't know how to wipe itself. Turn that thing off. So, yeah, this made 0 sense then. It makes 0 sense now. Like,
cows don't know how to wipe themselves. I mean, she's not wrong. So
she's your mom not?
Or, no, I'm sorry. She's not wrong, but she's wrong.
Cow
you know,
did know how to wipe it.
I don't.
That's not a normal.
Yeah, a cow should be teaching Kelsey proper toilet etiquette. I mean, have you guys not seen the Charmin bears? Have you guys not seen the Charmin bears? You act like animals haven't been showing us how to do this forever.
Fucked, man, I hate those Charmin bears. The family is so weird. Like, You're just like always talking about using toilet paper all the time.
So I'm saying, Kelsey and Cantor on a fucking podcast. That's what I want to fucking make happen at some point. So you guys can relive your fucking childhood trauma.
The two of us could have a wonderful conversation that we don't have with anyone else because everybody else was watching Ren and Stimpy.
Hey, Ren and Stimpy was the shit, though. Let's go.
Yeah.
Good old Ren and Stimpy. Small little Chihuahua-looking dog. He was a Chihuahua, right? And Stimpy, I can't remember what Stimpy was.
I believe he was officially a Chihuahua. And Ren and Stimpy is a cat.
Stimpy was a cat. That's right. The big fat red cat with the blue nose. Yeah, Ren and Stimpy. Let's go.
Interesting. Those characters were supposed to reflect something in life. I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah. I mean, it's got like a grotesque art style.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah. And they played it up a lot in the shows, too. Like, whenever it'd be something like fucking, like... I mean, that's back... when we still had like fucking toilet humor and it was actually fucking funny, like, you know, fucking Stimpy like digging in his fucking nose, like they would zoom in on the fucking nose and it would be like the ugliest finger you could see, the ugliest nose, and just snot and boogers and shit all coming out of it. Yeah, like they would go hardcore into that. Oh, good old days.
You started your sentence with when it was toilet humor and it was good.
Yep, and it was good toilet humor.
We're never gonna agree on this.
It was
never.
It was art, like.
Yeah, beautiful works of art, Kelsey.
Look into that thing. It looks unlike anything else that was on TV. Like it was.
I will agree, it's art. I will wholeheartedly.
The way he's describing the toilet parts of it aren't selling it well enough. Like it was smart. It was pretty smart, in some ways.
Smart. Interesting.
Smart
I would happily sit down with you in a bowl of cereal and have you explain to me. Using specific examples while we watch the show.
I mean, I haven't seen it in a million years now.
In the show,
but it just wasn't a normal thing for kids, right? It was a very strange, surreal sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why cereal. I just absolutely pictured me at JoJo's apartment. Like I've like Scott and I just spent the night. We were drinking with friends the night before, and like now we have cereal and milk, and he's gonna introduce me to Ren and Stimpy, and like why I should care. Like that's absolutely like while Scott continues to sleep until 2 p.m. Like that's what I pictured in my head.
Oh my god!
And so you wouldn't know this either, I guess. Is that years after it ended on Nickelodeon, they brought it back on MTV, I think it was, as the Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon.
I'm sorry, what?
Explicitly for adults then, which tells you a bit like, the guy making it in the first place was like not necessarily a guy trying to make kids stuff. He just kind of fell into it. But it was a fucking disaster and everyone hated it and got canceled immediately.
Yay! I don't mean
like
that.
It turns out the confinement of needing to make something appropriate for children led him to make something a lot better than being free to do whatever garbage he really wanted to do. And also in recent years, it's come out that the guy is maybe some kind of huge creep.
Yeah, some people need boundaries.
I hate that shit too. Like whenever you watch something and then you find out some fucked up shit like that. Like I love horror films, obviously. This is fucking not a secret. One of my favorite ones of all time was Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers 1, amazing. Jeepers Creepers 2, phenomenal. Jeepers Creepers 3, goddamn dumpster fire. Fucking dumpster fire. And then I find out that the fucking dude that directed it, like after he directed, like a month after he directed, got locked up for like fucking child pornography and like all this other shit. I was like, holy fuck. You nasty motherfucker. Good for you. And let's add like another 100 years on for making this shitty ass Jeepers Creepers 3 movie as well. Fuck that guy. It was nuts.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They're
rebooting him again, Ren and Stimpy again, and they're not involving the creator.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been officially charged with anything, but they did at one point. His lawyer confirmed at one point that for a brief time, 25 years ago, he had a 16-year-old girlfriend. As an adult, I mean, it was, what do we say, 25 years ago when he was 40.
Okay,
that's
yeah,
gross.
No. I was looking into this recently because there's a whole bunch of media, not only here in America but internationally, that fetishizes young girls having crushes on adult men, and then adult men being attracted to them. And here's the thing. I know adult men. I am an adult woman. I know adult men. The idea, I know the men that I don't have to worry about because they're like, I cannot imagine what I would talk to a 16-year-old girl about, and I don't have any interest in being around a 16-year-old girl. Like, do not care what she's going through. Don't, like, I'll drive her, like, if she needs oil change, like, I'd drive her to a place that maybe has oil. Like, that's as far as I care to interact with a 16-year-old girl. Like, the idea that I would want to sleep with one and interact with one on a frequent basis in a romantic sense is disgusting. And I'm like, yes, I have no desire to spend time around a 16-year-old boy. Like, zero. Zilch. No. I like 30-year-old men, my jam. 16-year-old boy, no. Not at all. Why? So I don't know why we continue to fetishize this and pretend that it's cool. Like, it's not cool.
Yeah, because you do see that a lot, especially with like movies where it's like college professors and shit like that. Yeah, it's. Yep.
Yeah.
See it a lot. Lost in Translation, the movie is like Bill Murray and maybe 18-year-old Scarlett Johansson. I don't even know if she is she might be 17 at the time, or whatever. And that's a good ass movie, but like also in retrospect a messed up thing that they made. I guess. No, it's weird.
But I do appreciate that I'm seeing a change from the 80s where we have songs like Don't Stand So Close to Me, and now where we have adult men like straight up saying like on Twitter and in other places like, no, not that. Like, please go somewhere else with your friends because I find you annoying and not something I want to be around. And it's not a sexual go away. It's we are in two different places in life and I'm not interested. And like, that's way healthier.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. That shit's whack. That shit is crazy. I was definitely one of those. Go ahead.
I know somebody in real life who was engaged in one of those relationships and to date is like, I don't know why it was wrong. And I'm like, you're okay.
There's a lot.
There's a lot wrong. There's a lot wrong.
Like that bad where it was an actual teenage girl?
Actual teenage girl.
Oh boy.
Fully adult guy. And real bad.
Eef.
Real bad in every way.
It's gross. It's fucking gross. Because I grew up watching like fucking the Chris Hansen shit.
Sure.
And I
don't know what a Chris Hansen is.
To Catch a Predator?
You don't know
who Chris Hansen is? Oh my god.
They would bait pedophiles into showing up to houses and then arrest them?
Yes. Chris Hansen is a fucking hero. He's a goddamn American hero.
You don't know. You don't even.
You really don't even know who he. No, really? She doesn't know who Chris Hansen is at all.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Wow. That blows my fucking mind.
I'm just amazed because it's like such a huge cultural thing for a while there.
Not even just for a while, but they've rebooted that shit how many times now? Where they've done it some more shows. Like I know they're doing
NBC, very mainstream thing.
He even did some of the documentaries to help catch fucking Epstein, as well.
Right, but they would have like, some adult person pose as a child online in a chat room and try to bait adult men into,
actual predators
going up to a house, and the guy would walk in and be like, and they have a fake girl there who's like really 20 something but looks like a teen enough that she can trick him a little bit. And she just goes like, "Hey, come in, I have to go put on
do the laundry,
sit down over there."
Yeah.
And then the police, and then Chris Hansen
comes out.
"What did you think you were doing here tonight?"
Like his famous line. Why don't you go ahead and take a seat? Take a seat.
Oh yes, take a seat. Always
gotta do that. Always. Chris Hansen says, "Take a seat. You're fucked."
I thought she was home alone and she needed someone to come here and watch out for her.
She said she was hungry.
Chris Hansen's like, "Do you know how old did you think this girl was?" And, no, she was probably 20.
No.
And then they show the chat logs. It's like,
he has all the chat logs verbatim. I mean, everything.
98 says, "I'm 14."
Yep.
And he's like, "Yeah,
that's what I want." Yeah, shit like that. Yeah. And like they go above and beyond with the fact of like asking them to bring specific things too. So like you're 100% showing the intent, because in different states, like Texas, for instance, Texas is just talking to a minor about anything sexual. That's a solicitation. That's done. Like that is the actual crime right there. You don't even have to show the fuck up. That's done. That is just done.
And then half the time they'd bring like wine coolers.
Yeah, they'll say something like, "Hey, could you stop and pick me up a Dr. Pepper? Or can you stop and pick me up this? Or can you stop? Hey, could you bring some alcohol?"
Like, we're also bringing alcohol to a child.
Alcohol. I can't tell you how many times these nasty motherfuckers brought condoms and shit like that. Yeah. There was one guy that they I want to say it was in Texas too. They fucking fully charged this dude to make sure he would not walk the streets again, because they went outside and found like a whole bunch of like video cameras and ropes and zip ties and shit like that. And they're like, no, this dude does not need to ever be on the street again.
Right, yeah, so the guys would have these conversations with Chris Hansen, right? And then they'd be like, eventually, okay, well, fuck, can I go? Am I under arrest? And he's just like, I'm Chris Hansen from NBC, I can't arrest you.
And then all the cameras come out.
And get into the yard, and police just tackle the shit out of him.
And then, bam, haul them off. Done.
Good, I was so worried you were about to tell me that, like, they got to go. And
Two of them did. When they first started the show, two of them did, and Chris Hansen was trying to do it just to bring awareness to what's out there for parents and with chat rooms and shit. And then immediately the state they were in reached out and was like, we want to collab on this. You get the predators, you set them up, you do your show, we won't interfere. And as soon as you let them out, they're gone. That's it. We take them. And Chris Hansen's like, yes, whatever we need to do to make this work, yes. And from then on, every episode, these motherfuckers get tackled to the fucking ground, you nasty fucks.
Now, do we know that Chris Hansen is not a bad dude? Like, sometimes these people succeed because they are...
He has done so much as far as, like, opening... So, like, the I know the biggest shit that he just got into was that they went over to India, and they were trying to prove that there are a lot of FDA or non-FDA approved medicines that are actually hurting and killing people that these companies are making and selling. So they were going over there and acting like, you know, business tycoons, saying, hey, we're trying to get this drug made, give it to them, and we're able to get the drugs made and be able to walk right out with them and stuff like that. So it's not just predators. Like they also did one where it's the whole like the fucking dishwasher guy comes over and is like, hey, you know, I'm going to fix this for you, da-da-da-da-da. And, oh, it's a $500 bill. Well, guess what? Chris Hansen had a fucking dishwasher guy who came in, specifically removed one piece that would cost like $10 to see if this guy would be able to figure it out and know his shit and not charge the person to be a brand new dishwasher. Like, he does shit like that. Like, Chris Hansen's a fucking great fucking guy.
I think it was like that show was originally him doing little bits of that, like be this dishwasher thing, and it was like, here's one special episode about pedophiles, and it became all anyone wants to see Chris Hansen do now is get pedophiles tackled.
Get those motherfuckers out. Get those guys out.
I did Google and see whether or not like there was any dark skeletons in Chris Hansen's closet that Google could show. And in my 8 seconds, the top thing is Chris Hansen turns himself in and is released after an arrest warrant. And I was like, oh God, what thing did he do? And it was like, oh, then the sex pedophile case and all this stuff. And it's he had a warrant because he didn't show up to show evidence in a pedophile case.
I just saw he like bounced a check for $13,000.
That dude! Oh my God! Yes. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about that. So, I've gotten really into this fucking podcast. I was telling Kelsey about it. I think I told you about it as well. But anyways, Flagrant 2, shout out those guys, fucking hilarious. Andrew Schultz. They actually had him on a podcast and they're talking to him, and so he brought that up. It was actually funny. Like Andrew Schultz did this one thing where like after they did, like they went to this whole conversation about like, you know, what it was like to get that started. The nerves you feel knowing that you're about to sit down with somebody, you have no idea how they're going to act, how they're going to react. Because, I mean, at that point, you know your life is over. Like, you know, no one's necessarily gotten violent. Like, they might have gotten mad and, like, just walked right the fuck back out and then attacked by the police. They're gone. But, I mean, there's some crazy shit that happened on these episodes. There was the one that is, like, the most notorious episode is this dude brings a pizza because the chick asked for a pizza. And then Chris Hansen's asking the questions and talking about this chat log, which was very sexually graphic. And the dude's like, you mind if I eat? And he's just eating a pizza while Chris Hansen's going through all this. It's like, what kind of deranged fucking psychopath? You know what I mean? Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Cameras in his face, being confronted with like,
well, he doesn't know that. He doesn't know that. The cameras are all hidden around the house, and then when they go, hey, can I leave? And then Chris Hansen goes, well, I have to tell you, I'm not law enforcement. My name's Chris Hansen, and I do a show called To Catch a Predator for Dateline. And as soon as he says Dateline, that's when all the camera guys come out with cameras and get in their fucking face, which is hilarious because all the pedophiles do the same thing. As soon as that happens, they do this shit. It's like, bro, you've been sitting there talking for like 30 minutes. We know what the fuck you look like.
Yeah,
come on, let's be real.
Also, like, they did this for years. So at some point, it's like
you had to see him
walks out, and the guy's like, "Oh,
fuck!" Yeah, exactly. Oh, no. Like, come on, let's be real.
Chris Hansen, I know what this is.
But there was one where this dude, instead of knocking on the front door, walks up, goes through the side door in the garage, strips butt naked, and walks into the house. Into the house. I was like, what? Because they even brought that up on that podcast too. But anyways, so they're talking to him. So like I said, they'd go into all these different, like, you know, all the different shit that he's done, talk about a lot of his different journalisms and shit like that. And they talk about that bounce check. And he goes, so what was that about? So basically it was like some stuff that just had his name on it. It was like Chris Hansen mugs or Chris Hansen t-shirts. And he wrote a check and it bounced. He's like, yeah, it was a whole thing. It got blown way out of proportion. Da-da-da-da-da. And Andrew Schultz like, you're a fucking American hero, dude. As far as I'm concerned, you're out there catching pedophiles. You shouldn't have to pay for anything. Fucking it's on us. Fuck, you should have to pay taxes? Nothing. You're a fucking American hero. He's like, do you still owe that guy money? Let me know. I'm paying your debt right now. Like, that's done. He's all like, I think we need to go sit down and talk with this guy and be like, hey, have a seat. We need to talk to you for a second. You're out here possibly saving his fucking kids and he's busting your ass over a $1,300 check. He's like, next time you want shirts or something made, you come to me. He's like, obviously I won't be making anything in toddler size, but... Oh, those dudes fucking cracked me up. They did say some shit, though. It was a little dark. It was definitely a little dark. But they were talking about this case, and this is one of the ones where Chris Hansen did get into some shit. And what it was an attorney general was soliciting, once again in Texas, that's all you need is a solicitation. So he knew what he was looking at. And on top of that, had like a shit ton of child pornography on his computer. And in Texas, it's like fucking 10 to 15 years per image. So he was trying to delete that because he didn't show up to the thing. So they were all like, well, we have all we need. We're going to go to his house. And he knew that.
Yeah.
So he's trying to delete it and he wasn't able to do it. So the dude, he heard the sirens pull up, pulled a gun out and shot himself. Killed himself right there. And the family was trying to sue Chris Hansen and Dateline NBC because he took his life. Da-da-da-da-da. And so Chris Hansen's like, the problem is that the only information that was let out was that he was talking to a minor online. And then everything went in, and he's like, and where people really soured is that we had to settle. And the reason why you settle is because of all the different stuff that comes out. Whenever, you know, networks look at that, it's a lot easier just to do that. He's like, trust me, nobody on the show was happy we were settling at all. But the network is going to choose what the network's going to choose to do. And he's like, then after the case is out, then that's whenever all the information comes out about like all the child porn he had on his computer, all this other stuff. And I thought it was funny. Like, it's definitely dark humor, but Schultz like, that's a successful episode. Like, that's a win. It literally said, that's a successful episode. And he's all like, well, you know, like, we don't want that to be the narrative. And he's like, no, that's a win. He's like, another pedophile off the streets, that's a win. He's like, I don't want to pay tax dollars for this nasty motherfucker to get 3 meals in a cot. Fuck that guy. I was like, but it is dark. It is really fucking dark. So,
yeah, I'm not on the... I have a personal don't celebrate when people die thing, and there are people that really make that challenging. But I'm not a celebrate when people die.
So, but yeah, it was just funny just to see like Chris Hansen kind of squirm because he's just such like a nice formal guy, and I don't think he was ready to be on the podcast with 1, 2, 3, 4 comedians, and they're all making jokes about this. So after it was done, he's like, "All right, now we got you in the hot seat." So he starts doing stuff. One of the ones was, all right, school zones. It's speed limit. You have to slow down for a school zone. Should pedophiles have to drive faster? Stuff like that. Or one of it was, he goes, what is the number one thing pedophiles wear and why is it Crocs? Like stuff like that. It was pretty fucking funny. I was like, no fucking way. Should pedophiles have to drive faster? Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie, that took me a second longer than it should.
Those guys crack me the fuck up, man. They're fucking hilarious. But yeah, no, that's crazy. I did not know that you didn't fucking know anything about Chris Hansen. Like, I mean, he's went on to, I mean, he hasn't really done other shit. He's just done a lot of that shit. And he sparked like a whole fucking internet thing. Like, there's so many like top tier like YouTube people who actually do this shit now. like pedophile hunters. I've watched a couple of them. Let's see, Pop Squad is a really fucking good one. They travel all around the fucking nation, catching people in every fucking state. Yeah.
Wow.
Same thing where they have a person they know who is, whether it's a boy or a girl, and they talk to them on the phone, lure the predator, and then they get them out to a public place. They go down, they sit down, they talk with them. They try to tell them, hey, look, what you're going through, it's a mental problem and you need to get help. I'm more than happy to get you some help. But if you're going to leave, you're not going to sit here, you're not going to be able to have this conversation with me, I'll call the cops right now versus calling them later and letting them have all your information. He's like, because you got to look at it this way, where Chris Hansen was able to work directly with the police. A lot of these YouTubers, like they talk about it to where it's like they have to put it up, and then a lot of times detectives will then reach out to them and be like, hey, can you give us all this information? So it's like we call the cops, most likely like everybody's going to walk away and then the cops will come do the investigation later. So because they have had that happen a couple times where the dude was straight up with like, fuck this, I'm leaving. It's like, all right, call the cops, fuck, get them out here. You can walk from us all you want to. Somebody's going to call the cops. They see us out here following you, 4 guys following one guy. Someone's going to call the cops thinking that something's about to happen. We're completely fine. We're in the right. So your best interest is sit down, have a conversation, and try to get some help. So... yeah, it's interesting.
Are they trained psychologists? Like, are
no,
they trained
they actually have a network of psychologists in all the states that they work with to try to get these people, because they're like, it's a mental issue. You should not like someone of that age. They say some of the same shit you said. There's not a conversation that you should have with anyone that age that you feel you can hold a conversation with at all and talk about actual fucking things that matter to you versus also matter to them. That is not your fucking child. Plain and simple. Yeah. If they're not related to you by blood, should not be having the conversation. Because they had a lot of stuff where it's like a 24-year-old guy showing up to meet like an 11-year-old boy to come play Fortnite at his house because his mom and dad are gone.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Well, I was just coming to hang out because he's alone and he was scared and stuff like that. It's, nah. Mm-mm. Nope. So...
I do think there's an exception for like close family friends. Like my friends have a child, and I want to be involved in her life, and so.
For sure. But once again, you would not be doing anything that
for the child.
You would not be doing anything their parents didn't know.
Out. You're not going online and looking to find.
I'm not like. I want to go find a loose. God no. That's that's revolting.
If you encounter a child by happenstance, okay.
I will be kind to a child by happenstance, but I will not go seek one out to like. Maybe you need someone to care. No, Jesus, no. Ugh.
Yeah, because like that situation, it's like fucking like, for instance, my kid. It's like, oh, where's my daughter? Oh, well, Kelsey and her went to go grab some fucking breakfast. I already fucking knew about it. Kelsey fucking. Hey, Chris, I'm gonna go grab some breakfast. You mind if I take fucking Lily with me? Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That's a different scenario. The parents are going to fucking know. Versus you're just
no
showing up to their house without them knowing while they're out off a vacation and they left the kid home alone. Yeah, that's a whole different fucking story.
The only way that I'd be engaging with a kid when the parents are on vacation is if the parents specifically said, like, hey, go make sure Lily's not throwing a party and destroying my condo. Like, can do.
Yeah, exactly. I will say the best episode that they ever had as far as funny-wise goes with that Catch a Predator, though, is that they caught this one guy, and it was in one of the states. It was one of the early ones where he got let go. And literally within 4 hours, he was online talking to another minor and tried to meet them at McDonald's, and it was them again.
Yeah, I was
at
verifying that
McDonald's.
I thought that was a thing. There are 2 people on that show, in the history of that show, that they caught twice.
Yeah. Twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
What? How?
Twice.
How?
You would think the first time, I would feel like, especially if you've seen the show, and I'm pretty sure the dude that I'm specifically talking about said that he had seen the show, you would think that that would be a good enough come to God moment where it's like, my whole life was almost ruined.
Yeah.
The scary part, though, about the show is whenever you find out they catch teachers and shit. That's the scary part. When it's someone who works with kids. That part's fucking terrifying.
One where like a priest or a rabbi, maybe both.
Yeah. There was 2. Yeah, there was 2 of those, and there was a fucking middle school teacher was one of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he drove 2 states away.
Yeah.
Drove 2 states away.
Like, what are the odds that happens to you twice, man? Like, Chris Hansen doesn't hang out in the same area all the time. You'd think. You would think it would be the safest place after it happened once, but no. He came back.
It would be the safest. this place, but he was there again.
There's no way he's gonna come
There
back to
he
the
is,
same place.
Shia
That'd be
LaBeouf.
crazy.
Oh my
But he
god.
did.
That's what I said. Chris Hansen's a fucking hero, dude. I applaud anybody that goes out there and do that. Like that's a lot of fucking. That's gotta be a rough situation. You don't know how these people are gonna act. You don't know if they've got a gun. You don't know if they got a fucking weapon on them. Fucking one false move and that could be your last. I mean, but fucking man, dude, to be able to catch fucking pedophiles and keep them off the streets, fucking, I applaud you on that one, hands down. Fucking heroes, all of them, all of them. I've watched multiple of them, and I'm just like, fuck yeah. Like, there was actually one time where, like, they were talking about coming to Wisconsin. I was like, I wish they had, like, a thing where you could reach out to them. I'd be like, you can stay at my house. You ain't got to worry about hotel fee, none of that shit, dude. I support your fucking work, absolutely, 100%.
I'll pretend to be a 16-year-old for
Fuck yeah, absolutely. Whatever you need, you let me fucking know. You need an extra cameraman, I'm fucking there. Done.
I'm gonna be honest with all of us. I don't think any of us can pass for teenagers.
I don't think so either.
Sorry.
All I have to do vocally, really. They don't see you very close up. I don't think. A high pitch.
I don't think even my highest, most dainty Valley Girl voice could pass for a 17-year-old.
You don't
I
know.
don't think so.
If they're once again, there's some very fucked up in the head individuals. So
if you just do that voice and talk about how you don't know what to catch a predator is, they'll absolutely believe you're a dog. The same cultural point of reference of not knowing things from the 2000s.
what I do like is like they'll show the chats and stuff as far as like all the sexual stuff. But the stuff where, like, they use specific tactics and shit, like, they specifically say, like, we're not going to show this because we don't want predators to catch on to how we fucking do this.
Yeah, how we're figuring it out.
I like that kind of shit, too, where they're like, yeah, fuck these guys. And absolutely not. Like, we're going to put this out here so we're making you guys known because we want you guys to know this shit. We don't want them to know fucking anything. Fuck those guys. We can keep catching all these stupid motherfuckers. Oh, get them. Get them!
You should definitely just look up some clips of like Chris Hansen reading their messages back to them. It's like, you said to this girl you thought was 14, I'm going to come and show you my penis. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, he does stupid shit like that, but it's just like how he does it. It's so beautiful at the same time, where it's like it's the dumbest question.
Girl, let me see that thing.
Because they'll be like, oh yeah, I don't remember saying that. It's like, well, it's right here. It's in the script. So what do you mean by that? What exactly does that mean? You knew she was 13. It says right here. You knew that she was 13. You said, oh, I could. That's the one that is almost in every fucking chat. Is always they start out with saying they're 18. They're not supposed to be on the site. And then later on they go, by the way, I'm actually well before any sexual. It's pretty early on, so that way there's no leading anything like that.
Yeah,
it is very. It's like the fourth message. By the way, I'm 13 or I'm 14 or I'm 11, whatever. And then the fucking pedophiles, same message every time, where it's always, I could get in a lot of trouble talking to somebody like you. You wouldn't want to get me in trouble, would you?
It's like, oh yeah, this is a crime.
Motherfuckers. Scummy motherfuckers.
Yeah, let me just take this responsibility for my actions and my decisions and just shove that onto a child.
Onto a child, yeah.
Fuck
exactly.
Fuck them. All right. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay, I'm on board him being a national hero.
I agree.
Yet?
I agree.
Can we give him a medal?
That's what I'm saying. I loved it when they're all like, dude, you shouldn't even have to pay taxes, dude. You're a fucking pedophile hunter. And he's all like, I will happily catch pedophiles, get them off the street, save children, and pay my fair share in taxes.
All right.
He's such a nice guy.
This man is lovely.
I have to look for the fucking...
Based on the current information I have, this man seems lovely.
He got a ton of awards for it.
Yeah.
Good.
They even did some shit where they like fucked around with like Hollywood actors, where they did like some SNL skits and shit like that, where like somebody's showing up to a house to do something, and all of a sudden like Chris Hansen comes walking out, and they're like, "What's going on?" Like, I was paid to come here. I have no idea what's happening.
I think it was the year Conan hosted the Emmys. They did a whole thing where Conan ends up going through different TV shows and ends up on To Catch a Predator briefly.
Oh, they did one where they tried to get him too, where they acted like fucking Chris Hansen was coming in, and I can't remember who it was they had to do. That they come out and they're like, "Why don't you go ahead and take a seat?" or something like that, and it was for him to get winning an award for one of those. But he was all like, "What the hell's going on?" He's like, I think you're doing my role."
Yeah, he was a beloved cultural icon for a bit there, and then I don't know, he disappeared. People got tired of it, I guess.
Oh, it's like I said, he does a lot of the, other shit too. He's like, it's not just pedophiles. He's like, there's a lot of wrong things that go on in this world. He wants to cover whatever he can while he can. And
fantastic
podcast
that's journalism.
That he did, and the podcast that he did was this year with the guys that I was talking about, and they're talking about there's like 3 different networks that are trying to get him to do another pedophile hunter show. Get back out there, because believe it or not, NBC fucking canceled it. You would think that'd be the one show you wouldn't want canceled. Like, that right there seems like a civic duty to keep that show going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, fucking fuck these pedophiles. Get them out of here. I agree.
They got into some, trouble with, people not liking that they were kind of being deceptive, I guess, or something, well...
Of course, yeah. If I was a pedophile, I'd be upset about that too. Oh, you guys are out here fucking tricking us.
Here,
yeah, of course.
People in media ethicists or something, whatever is what it says here.
Oh, he talked about that. Yeah, you're right. About some journalists actually came to him and jumped on him saying that what he was doing wasn't actually journalism and he's just out here deceiving a whole bunch of people. And fucking Andrew Schultz is all like, "Fuck that guy. Who cares? Who can?" He's like, what does he work for? Fucking CNN, Fox News? None of them motherfuckers ever tell the truth. You're out here catching fucking pedophiles and putting them in bars. He's like, who gives a shit?
That person's priorities are in the wrong order.
Definitely a factor also, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I talked right over you. What did you say?
Oh, just when they're canceling, the guy who shot himself, I think, was maybe also
that was a rough one. Yeah, because like I said, they had to settle that.
Yeah, the media blitz on that isn't going to be a good thing.
No.
It just became easier for them to say, hey, NBC's done with this.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, so Chris Hansen, you should definitely check him out. He's got some top clips, It's definitely one of those things where it's an interesting watch, but it's one of those things where you could easily fall down a rabbit hole because it's very interesting to see how they do it, and you get that, at first you get that really oh god, I hate this fucking person, oh, this is cringy, this is just disgusting, but then you get that instant gratification of justice when you see him get fucking tackled walking out of house and handcuffed, and they take him down to the police station, they film the whole interrogation aspect, tell you what they're getting sentenced for, all that shit. Then you're all like, fuck yeah, next episode, let's go, next episode.
Binge this. All right.
But I'll have to find the clip and post it in Slack of the flagrant stuff, because they did it where it was just them talking to him, and man, it was just hearing the like I said, the Epstein stuff and stuff like that, because that was one of the hardest questions that Schultz asked him was did you ever get pressured to not chase a story? Did a TV exec ever come to you and was like, hey, this person that you're after, lay off? And he's like, well, I never felt that. He goes, but I definitely felt once we started getting into the Epstein stuff, there was a lot of fucking people who were not happy with some of the work they were doing. Because they didn't even break it, but they helped. Was Washington Post, I think, is who actually broke the overall story on fucking Epstein. Yeah, they helped them get a lot of the story. And Chris Hansen said that was one of the biggest mistakes of his life. He's because there was so much other things going on. He's it got to the point where I felt like I was going down a rabbit hole and that there actually possibly might not be something here. He's so I worked on it for a year and then I walked away, and he's and here we are 6 years later, they finally broke the story. He's life lesson learned. Those that you feel are worth chasing, just keep going. Just keep going, because sooner or later something's got to break. And he's I wish I would have just, maybe I could have had it happen faster. He's something. He's I kind of wish I wouldn't have gave up on it so quickly. But it's fuck, dude, you did a year's worth of work. That's still, it helped them out. The important part is the information got out.
Yeah.
Not all the information people are looking for now as far as, what happened. But, at least, some form of justice was served, I guess. Not the correct one, but some form. Oh, well. But yeah, you should check it out, Kelsey. Let's check it out.
We said pedophile a lot more in this podcast.
We did, and I don't feel... there was even one part where I said, if I was a... And yeah, I'm not happy that exists out on the internet now, but it does, so fuck it. I'm just going to go ahead and say that, yeah, that's not me. No.
We're not pedophiles.
I think that's fine. For you to say, if I was a thing, and suggest that you absolutely are not currently one.
That's fair.
That's fair. You wouldn't say that if you were.
That's fair. 100%. JoJo's my new lawyer. JoJo's my new lawyer. Kelsey's been away for a little bit. JoJo comes out with the facts whenever I need them. And then on top of that, he gave me my new catchphrase, which I keep forgetting to use it. But for now on, whenever I say like a word that you don't like because like I mispronounce it or something like that, I'll just be like, it's in Ultimania. You don't know anything about that. And it's in Ultimania. So that's like my new thing. Now every time I go talk about something, you're like, I don't know. And it's in Ultimania. You can read it. Now I can just be justified right off the cuff. I love it. It's great.
There you go.
All thanks to JoJo.
Hate this. Hate this.
Yes! Oh, well. Anyways.
I earned my spot on the call sheet above you.
That's how. That's how. Fuck off, JoJo.
What a fucking callback. What a fucking callback. That's great right there. God damn. That was clean. That was fucking clean, dude.
It was good.
Yeah, I gotta give it up. Yeah, we gotta end on that note. Fucking hell. That I can't follow that up. That's done. This has been the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was easily the fucking highlight right there. Holy shit. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, comment section below. Fucking, I want comments below that just say mic drop. Fucking just throw it down there. 100%. Twitters and Twitches are down there. By the end of all this, hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you guys next time.